Hey, welcome today. Today, we're going to talk about latency. If you're an affiliate marketer, you're going to probably have one or more websites, and you probably don't know a lot about latency, and specifically, and that it's a silent killer of your profit. And basically, if you can grasp latency and solve the latency issue, you can increase your conversion rate tremendously with any website that you're on. So today, what are we going to cover off? Are you ready? Are you ready? This is what we're going to do. What is server latency? We're going to start off with that. What the heck is it and why is it important? And then we're going to actually talk about basically how do you check for latency? How do you check for it? You know, what tools do you use? And we'll talk about some common tools that you can use to test for latency in seconds. And specifically, one of the challenges with latency is that you need to know where your site visitors are coming from. Where do your visitors come from? So we'll talk about how do you find out where your visitors come from. And if you do need to change your data center, that's where your server is located. How do you do that? So how does that sound? Are you ready to get going? Are you excited? Let's do it. Woo! Woohoo! Okay, let's do a quick search on Google. What is server latency? Okay, here we go. Latency, oh my god, it's very complicated. Latency can be either measured by the round trip time. Okay, let's go back to the blackboard. Server latency is very simple. It's just the time that is taken for data to go from one point to another point. Go from here to here, that's it. And basically, you know, that's latency. There's nothing complicated about it. It's really simple, isn't it? But it's important. So probably quite recently you've heard about Starlink. It's in the news everywhere, and basically SpaceX, a orbital internet system. And what is unique about that is that basically the satellites are very close to the Earth. Traditionally, satellite internet was slow because the satellites are a long way from the Earth. SpaceX solved that problem, or is solving that problem, by bringing the satellites into closer orbit so that the latency, basically the ping time between going from the Earth to the station and back again, is very short. And that allows for very fast internet transfer. So they've solved the key problem of internet traffic using satellite. So why does latency matter now in 2021 and beyond? Why is it important? Let's have a look at two great leaders in the sphere of SEO and site speed. One is Moz and one is Neil Patel. Let's have a look at what those two have to say about this issue. Okay, here, let's have a look at Moz first. Okay, a lot of information here, quite interesting. It's a little bit blah, 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 blah. Let's just scroll down. Okay, this is the best bit. Google has indicated site speed, and as a result, page speed, is one of the signals it uses for its algorithm to rank pages. Cool. Now, if we notice up here, it's basically 2021 website best practice from Moz. So these guys are an industry leader in their field. Let's have a look what Neil has to say. And here's Neil's page, Google page experience, and basic Google new algorithm page experience. Yes, we're in the right place. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Page experience. Google has now moved its focus into user page experience. In Google's own words, here is what it means. The page experience signal measures aspects of how users perceive the experience of interacting with a web page. Optimizing for these factors makes the web more delightful for users across all web browsers and all surfaces. So basically, Google's changed its focus to user experience, which is what's important. So if your website is not loading in a fraction of a second because of latency and other issues, then basically the user experience is defunct. So they're not getting the best out of your website. So guess what's going to happen to your website? Boom. And if bzoom is happening to your website and you're an affiliate marketer, that means your conversion rates are reducing. Your renewal rates, people coming back to your website is changing. You're not getting the results that you want. And you want results. Yes, you want results. Results are important. I want results. I think everybody wants results. Okay, so now we know why it's important and basically what Google's doing about it and why everything's changed. Now you might be quite familiar with this tool here. And basically, you can test your own internet connection speed of how fast you are connecting to your service provider. Now, that's not about your website, but there is a tool you might be familiar with. So that's a speed testing tool. And look up there is the actual, the ping rate. The ping rate is about the latency. The ping is bing bong. how fast it's sort of going backwards and forwards. They should be all about measuring your latency. But let's now have a look at how you measure your latency for your actual website. The best way to do that is with the standard Gtmetrix tool. I've talked about this in other videos. Check these videos up here about how to use these tools and how to test for your site speed and how to get a website loading in less than 1 second. Check out that video. Now here, let's have a look at Gtmetrix. Let's put in Affyboy and basically let's analyze it. Now what's important here is your location. If it changes, if you're testing from a different location, your latency changes. So let's have a look first of all from San Antonio in Texas. Okay, off it's running, oh, it's pretty fast, it's happening, right, yep, let's do it. Whew. Whew. I don't know about you, but today it's been very hot. We've had 39 degrees Celsius here today, and it's slightly cool at this time of the day. So I'm just about getting into the day. It's like, oh, here we go, right, there's the results. So, great, let's scroll down and we can see something called the TTFB, time to first byte. On this one, it's 895 milliseconds. That's quite slow. So basically, it's nearly 1 second to actually get that to ping the first sort of bit of data. Okay, let's test from a different location now and see what's going on. Okay, let's choose now, we've done something, let's do basically Hong Kong. Now this server is not in Hong Kong, it's in Singapore, so it's pretty close. So let's run a test for that. Here we go. Again, off we go, same site. And basically, this is how you test your latency. You check from multiple locations and you see what's going on from your user's perspective, depending on where they are in the world. Okay, that's running, it's run, yep, it's done, it's finished. Yahoo! Okay, so that one's a bit faster. It's basically half a second. That's pretty good. That's a lot better. So you can see immediately there's a big change now. Okay, let's do one more test. Let's do it from London. And, you know, basically away we go. Off it goes, chug, chug, chug. Phew, right, it's done. Let's scroll down, London, 674. So you can see 3 different locations, 3 different speeds of your latency. So your time to first byte is that first little bit that goes to your server. So it's just a test, a simple test of your latency. So there's a simple rule of thumb when it comes to latency. Roughly, for every 1,000 kilometers, it adds half a second to the latency. So for example, if your website is hosted in New York, and I am located in London, there's several thousand kilometers distance between those 2 points. So if you work out the number of kilometers and multiply it by half a second per 1,000, that gives you your rough latency, so it can add up to a couple of seconds. So let's take a look now at Google Analytics, a quick look, to basically see where your target audience is coming from. Now you're just going to look at the bulk of your audience. You want to just sort of grab about 60% of your audience, and then basically you locate your website in a data center closest to that audience. So let's have a look now. So I just picked up this website at random. It seemed to have the information that I wanted. So basically how to locate your users. So it's great, and it's got a video. So let's scroll down. Okay, let's have a look at this video. There we go. So you click on the audience, you come over on the left, click on location, and wow, that's it. How simple is that? Now basically, Google always changes their interfaces, so how long this will last for, who knows. United States at the top. And remember, you can actually sort on these columns if you don't know that about Google Analytics. Okay, so that's good. So now you know how to actually find out where the bulk of your visitors are coming from. That's very important. So how the heck do you find out where is your data center located? Well, the easiest way is basically send a ticket to your web hosting provider, to the support desk, and say, where is the hosting center? And basically, can I change it if it's not in the best location for me? So just send that ticket off. You might also be able to look in your admin and have a look around there. Sometimes it tells you, but often it's not easy to find those things. So just send them a ticket. It's probably the easiest way to find it. Once you have discovered it, and once you know where your target audience is, you've got to be able to match that as close as possible, remembering the rule of thumb, which is every 1,000 kilometers is roughly half a second of latency. So you want to basically get them closer together. So for example, if the majority of your customers in London, then you want a data center in Europe somewhere. And London's a good location to have that. That's the best one. But otherwise you want it somewhere else in Central Europe, close as possible to London. Now, what if you need to actually move your data center? Well, it depends on your hosting package. Some basically hosting providers will actually move it for free or allow you through the admin to change it. If you've used a service called Cloudways before, it's a simple little click of a few buttons. Watch this video up here to find out about Cloudways and why it's great value and how you can get a website to load in less than 1 second. So watch that video. Let's take a look at that now and I'll show you how you can actually do it very quickly in Cloudways. Okay, we're going to look at one of my other websites, getus.at/Cloudways. Here we go. Okay, so the best link to use is getus.at/Cloudways. That'll take you straight into the website. And not only that, it will give you a free trial opportunity here. So here it goes, there's your free trial. Just click on Start for Free button and off you go. Fill in some basic details. So give that a try, you get a free setup and basically, you can try it, I think, for 3 days. You don't even need a credit card to test it out. Okay, we're going to choose WordPress. We're going to add a server name. We're going to basically give it a name for the actual details. We're going to choose just 1 gig, so that it's set at London by default here. And there we go, New York, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Toronto, so there's quite a few. It's basically a click of a few buttons to basically migrate your server from one data center to another. The one thing to remember though is that every time you migrate to a different data center, no matter what service provider you're with, you'll get a different IP address because you're in a different part of the world. So do remember that. So if your IP address is important and it's locked into other parts of your systems, remember it's going to change. So I hope you got a lot out of this video today. It's a little bit more technical, but it is important because if you want to cut off those extra seconds and get better customer retention, better conversion rates as an affiliate marketer for your websites, then latency is one of those small details that makes a big difference over a period of time. So thank you very much. Catch you in the next video.